Hey everyone, have not given a garden update in a long time, but I would just like to give a quick example of how you could just have a little nursery at home with little to no effort. I mean, some of these plants look pretty rough, like this one for example, and a few of them actually. But I'll give you some examples of what you can do. So the previous year, I'd gone out and I buried some butternuts in the ground on a trail close to my house. And I thought the trail was maintained, but it turns out that people go by there and they whippersnip the sides. And I had some butternuts there, but luckily they didn't get too damaged. But I dug up about 3 of them. And in my own yard, I grew quite a few of these trees. I grew some apples. These ones got all twisted and mangled, but they'll straighten out. Some apples. Got a nice crab apple. Those ones were domestic. This one's a crab. A couple oak trees. There's a nice American mountain ash in the back right here. Makes lots of great fruit. I rooted a bunch of grape cuttings. And then I grew these persimmons from seed here. These are American persimmons. And then I also got some sea buckthorn from seed. I just plucked out the seedlings. It's a little late now, but I'm going to grow these out just a bit further, see how they do. Once you pull them out, if you want to make a little nursery spot, it's a good idea to, get them in some good soil. This is a white mulberry. It was growing 2 branches, so I cut it back slightly and I tipped it. And that one I threw out in some dry sandy soil in the middle of a grassy area that doesn't get maintained. And all I did was I mulched around it, cut down some plants, put cardboard down, and then I grew this right in the middle. And it's a white mulberry. It seems to be doing good. The other ones didn't survive, but I decided I'd pull that up and kind of nurse it a bit and plant it in an area where it's going to get a little more care. So that worked out pretty well. But all these pots here are just filled with compost and some leaf mold. And I kind of use the Sean Dabrowski method, so kudos to Edible Acres for this. But I got a little barrel of rainwater right here. And all I do is I take my pot and I just kind of scoop the rainwater into it. This is compost tea, actually. And then I just let it drip back in through this little basket. And here's some more of those butternuts. And that's all I really do to keep them watered. And I give them one big drink. And in the bottom of the pot, there's a bunch of leaf mold and little chunks of rotten debris and half-finished compost. And then I'll put some leaf mold in between. And then I'll top it with some half-finished compost. And that seems to keep them pretty happy. I did the same thing last year with a bunch of apple trees. And they did really well, I have to say. It was a pretty smart idea on my end to do something like that. It kind of just keeps the soil nice and moist, and it kind of breaks down and feeds your plants over time. Sorry, that was somebody's annoying car. Anyways, yeah, so these are all from my brother-in-law. Of course, except for the sea buckthorn, I'm growing that out for myself. But he's got a nice little food plot and a nice big piece of property where he can, scatter plants all around. And anyways, yeah, hopefully these can get in the ground. I did give him some of the Kazakhstan apples that I grew from seed. And he made some nice big tall chicken wire cages with the top closed. And he's going to wait till they get a little bit bigger and release the top. But it seems to be working, keeps the animals off, and they seem to be quite happy. And all we kind of do is once in a while we go in, we mow all the weeds around them, and we just drop them on the ground, give them a little feed. And that'll get them to maturity, I think. And eventually we'll space them out, plant them out, give them a nice home. But that's all you really need to do, guys. I think you can have such a wide range of plants just by cuttings. Like, look at these grape cuttings. Grape cuttings are doing pretty good. There's some more over here somewhere that I have in a thing. Oh, right here. Some of them aren't doing so well, but they're rooting. We'll check them for roots. These ones are doing pretty good. And they're a mixture of some Fredonia and some green grape variety. I forget the variety, but makes a nice grape for juice and jelly and jam and stuff. But yeah. Anyways, have a little nursery at home.